I'm Patrick Earl, Economic Development Manager for Wheatland County. And today on our WC Conversations Live, we're here with Wendy Gerbrandt with Community Futures. And she's the Community Economic Development Officer for Community Futures Wild Rose here in Strathmore and for the Wild Rose region. And welcome, Wendy. Let's dive into your brand new initiative that you're releasing this month, and tell us all about it.
Absolutely. So thank you for having me, and thank you for the participants joining in on the call today. So as Patrick indicated, I'm Wendy Gerbrandt, and I'm with Community Futures Wild Rose, and I'm based here out of Strathmore. And for those of you who may not know a lot about the CF organizations, we're a nonprofit, and we're an organization where we provide access to capital for entrepreneurs and businesses, and we also provide business counseling services. And we also lead community economic development initiatives to diversify the local economy here within the region. So those are little tidbits about what we do. We're centrally located within our region, just east of Calgary. So we're right in Strathmore, and we service approximately about an hour of every direction leading up to the Calgary border. We only support rural-based businesses and entrepreneurs. And the access to the majority of our services, of course, with the exception of the loans and some training or special projects, our counseling services are completely free to entrepreneurs to come in. So they're welcome to give us a call, come in, we can help work through the business planning process, or maybe have some questions in terms of some cash flow, or you just need some advice or direction on maybe a new product or service initiative or a new endeavor that you're looking at taking. So a number of ways that we can help businesses through startup or expansions. So part of one of the new initiatives that we're working on is called the Mastering Recovery Project. And this project was spurred upon by the small business survey that was distributed last year throughout COVID. And many of our respondents that took part in that survey addressed two key needs that they were needing short-term and both long-term. And they were both in the areas of marketing and some mental health or wellness supports. So we looked and searched for the funding after we closed out the surveys to look for opportunities that we could address these two key needs for our entrepreneurs. And we were successful in doing that with many of our project partners. So we approached a funding program through the CF Rural Opportunities Fund, which is funded by Western Economic Diversification for our initiative. And this is what I'm here to share with you today. So the Mastering Your Recovery Project has launched and registrations are open. And this project will run through now until the end of December of this year. And the objective of this series will provide businesses and entrepreneurs with access to marketing, business development, and wellness specialists to help develop actionable marketing and wellness strategies. The entrepreneurs will also receive access to training and these supports to help you provide the tools necessary for your business recovery. That, of course, all stemmed from the impacts from COVID-19. Now, the initiative was brought forth with the help of Western Economic Diversification Canada, CF Wild Rose, the town of Strathmore, Kneehill County, the village of Acme, in addition to our many, many project partners through Wheatland County, the Three Hills Chamber of Commerce, the town of Three Hills, the village of Linden, and 104.5 More Country. And we'll be working in conjunction with two of our project facilitators that will be delivering the bulk of these services through Strong Coffee Marketing and Excello. So I'll go through and I'm going to share my screen here on the two initiatives. Just one sec here. Okay, can you see that? Okay.
Yes, Ken. Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this is the overview here of the whole series of our project. And what I'm going to do now, I've already given the summary on that one, so I'm going to break it down into the two parts here to help benefit the businesses and the entrepreneurs within the CF Wildrose region. So the first series is Mastering Your Recovery series is called our marketing series. This series will give entrepreneurs the availability of marketing and business development specialists to develop some actionable marketing strategies, and or you may need some training that of capacity building that you need to overcome some of the challenges that you have. And you'll be working with some direct business counseling supports. So this series will be of benefit to you if you're experiencing challenges, for example, with creating and maintaining a digital presence. So maybe, my social channels just aren't picking up, or maybe I want to enter into a new social media channel that I haven't done before that I think my market is on. Or maybe you need to do an online store or some type of e-commerce platform. So this will give you the access to the supports to work with that marketing specialist to walk you through that. Now, maybe part of it is I have no idea what my new marketing strategy is. My business has changed so much, and I'm having troubles pivoting or entering into deciding what my new priorities are. So this project will actually work with a specialist to develop an actionable plan. And don't get too overwhelmed by the thought of a plan, because this plan is meant to be short-term in nature. And it's also meant to be actionable, meaning we don't want it sitting on the shelf. This plan is meant to get working for you almost immediately after you've met with the counselor and you guys have walked through your action steps. Okay. So if you're needing help with, maybe a new product or service that you want to introduce, maybe your market has changed that much where it's actually altered how you deliver and provide a new product or service. The counseling supports through that can work through maybe what that product and service looks like, and then maybe talking about how you need to market it out to your target customer. Okay. Maybe your whole target market has changed. Maybe your entire customer has changed, where one time the footprint was all in store, and now you've been opened up through an e-commerce platform or just through your social channels, and now it's brought in a whole new target market for you, and it's changed all of your strategies, and you don't know how any further to reach them. So working with the specialists will also help provide a game plan or a strategy or, some training and supports to help you meet that new target market niche. It could also be just any advertising and promoting challenges that you're having, and you need to discuss it one-on-one with an expert. Maybe you want to generate some new leads, or maybe you need to do a whole reevaluation of your pricing strategies. And maybe there's like a whole new market, or you've seen this whole new opportunity that has been laid before you that COVID has presented, and you're unsure about how to go about it and the plan or the strategy with it. And maybe also your customer service has been impacted, and that's been a number one call that's been into our office is, how do I manage now a storefront when I am able to open customer service level to now all of a sudden I have e-commerce clients coming in and they're buying my products from other places outside of the local area versus, walk-in traffic. And my customer service, how do I manage all that? Or how do I ensure that my customer service is going to meet the expectations of a new market or today's market with the potential change in consumer behavior? So this specialist can work through you on many of these challenges that I've listed here, but maybe you have others as you go through this process of discovery. Now, to be able to enter into this program, we do ask that everybody register. We only have intake available for up to about 30 businesses. And to maximize the outreach to our businesses, we're going to approach this through a tiered strategy. So when you enter into the registration link, there'll be a series of questions for you to answer, and they're not lengthy, but we just need to get some input from you so we know how to tier you. And we're going to look through that through a needs assessment once we get your registration. And we're going to be able to better determine, do you need a full-on strategy or do you just need some training? And so then we can break apart and tier our services so that we're maximizing the time that you're putting into this project, but also maximizing our resources through Strong Coffee, because we want to get you working sooner than later and get these challenges addressed. So we're saying that the commitment for this series is going to be 2 hours to 10 hours. So 2 hours if you just need a little bit of training, like maybe you just need some help setting up an e-commerce store. And that's all you need. Then we'll work through with you on that. But it might be 10 hours if you're working with the specialist on strategy development. So there'll be a series of touch points and calls and a little bit of homework that each entrepreneur will go through with and work through with that specialist. And of course, the goal of everything that we're doing this, whether it's through the training or the strategy sessions, is for you as a business to grow and to provide that clear vision for the future. Okay, so that's what the marketing series will be all about. Now, through that process too, if we see, and Strong Coffee, the delivery agent, sees, you know what, they may be struggling more with some business planning, then they're going to put you back in touch with us here at CFWR Rose, and we're going to connect you with a business analyst, and we're going to work on developing, you know, a longer term business plan strategy.
So Wendy, quick question. Just wondering, like, to put out a scenario, like some of the businesses that I've had experience working with, that have had sort of the idea of like, yeah, they need marketing, but they may not. They may think they need marketing, but they need a little bit of coaching on product development, service development, a little bit first prior to getting that marketing assistance, like, and deciding on to doing e-commerce and all that. But just basically having, and I've worked with Strong Coffee before too, and looking at that idea of doing that product strategy before a marketing strategy, and if it can all be done in 10 hours, but having them assess their products and services and go, okay, like you may think you need e-commerce, but perhaps you don't. Perhaps it's, you know, a little bit more social focus and keeping a storefront as a probably more of a primary, as opposed to looking at e-commerce because everybody else is looking at e-commerce, that kind of thing. Is there assistance in that within the marketing series?
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to really dive into to determine what the full challenge is. So looking at, you know, all those core areas of what a marketing plan can entails, right? Right from your target market to those 4 Ps. So your product, price, place, promotion, distribution. They're going to look through and find out exactly where is the challenge rooted from. And then we can look to assign you to the proper supports that you need.
Sounds great.
Okay. Yeah. So no, we want to make sure that we're hitting the challenge, right? Or that barrier. We don't want to just make assumptions that, yeah, you know what, e-commerce is going to fix all your woes. No, we want to make sure that we're matching the right solution to the challenge.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, I'll skip over to part 2 if there's no other questions at this point. So part 2 of our Mastering Your Recovery is called our Wellness and Resiliency series. Now, really this here is the access to the specialist to help develop a self-care plan and training to really overcome that fatigue and stress. Many of our entrepreneurs have been emotionally, physically, mentally drained here this past year. And so to help overcome that, we want to work with entrepreneurs to help to develop some resiliency skills, but also to help manage and identify stress, not just within yourself, but also with your staff, so that we can provide the entrepreneurs with a plan to begin to heal and recover. So what you will receive out of this, or sorry, so if you're experiencing any type of anxiety or stress, just that complete fatigue, I am so tired, it's challenging just getting out of bed every day. Or maybe you're not sleeping because, you've had such, a hit to your revenues or your customers, or just the stress of opening and closing these businesses through these restriction phases. Maybe there's other physical symptoms that you're noticing that, gee, this wasn't here before, and today it is. So, and just even the managing of daily activities, right? When we become very overcome with stress, our brains become foggy and retire because we're not sleeping well. And so you become limited to being able to just manage the day-to-day activities to get your business going, or seizing new opportunities, or whatever that might be. So the idea in this series is to first start working with a half-day workshop, and providing the restrictions, we're really hoping we can get together in a group environment. But we recognize that we might have to have a hybrid series of some group one-on-one, as well as a virtual component. So that's going to be determined based on restrictions, but regardless, there'll be a half day series, so about 6 hours. And through here, you're going to learn some of the skills that are needed and necessary to help you overcome and manage your stress. And after that, you will then work with a wellness expert or a personal coach, and they're going to work with you to develop a little bit of a strategy. So that will be done through 2 one-hour sessions. And she's going to talk to you about some of the challenges you're experiencing within your business, how that impacted your business, how it's impacted your staff, how it's impacted yourself, maybe your family. And you're going to open up and share a little bit of those challenges. And then she's going to work with you on, or I shouldn't say just she, but the organization Excello will work with you to develop a strategy that can help you move forward. Okay. Now, both of these series, we're not just going to leave you. So you've gotten these tools. The idea is not to leave you. Us at CF, as well as Excello and Strong Coffee, will be touching base with you periodically throughout this duration, just to do a touch point. How are you doing? What's working? What isn't working? What do we need to adjust? What do you need more help with? So the idea is to keep these plans moving forward. Now, both of these series, and this is an exciting part for entrepreneurs, are free. Okay, so there is a bit of a commitment on that as you enter into this. Because they are free, we do expect that we're going to receive a high uptake into these series. And so you are expected to complete the tasks that the coaches are working with you on. So there is a level of commitment that we do have that expectation. Okay, completely free. Each of these series is about $1,500 in value. So a pretty big commitment financially from our great project contributors. So that is why we want to see these strategies get utilized to help you recover. And to register for both of the series, we are closing for these first intakes here on July 5th. And if they completely fill, we will not be reopening registration. And of course, that's our goal. And we're hoping as soon as we receive your registration, we're going to begin processing on a weekly basis the registration intakes, so that we can help those that are in need right away, and we'll get them the supports that they need. And you can register at wildrose.alberta, so ALBERTA CF.com, and you'll look for the link Master Your Recovery Series. You can also contact me here at the office if you wish to have a telephone discussion, and my phone number is 403-934-8888, and I'm at extension 3. Or you can email me at Wendy, WENDY, G, at ALBERTACF.com. And I'll open the floor to any questions.
Okay. Wendy, I have a question. And just wondering if you partake in part two and do the 6 hours, it doesn't cut into the 10 hours of part one. They're two totally separate
Yeah,
things. Okay.
that's right. And you don't have to do one to do the other. If you find it, I just want to go into one or two series, that's completely up to you. So we have separate registration links for each of them so that you don't think that you're going into both. So if you decide to do both, you're looking at that probably 12 to, 20 hours, right? To do both series combined. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And any other questions from anybody? Okay. So registration again, you're looking for the uptake now, and it closes July 5th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah. Now, if we have vacancies remaining after that time, we will keep, registration and intake open for the duration, but the goal is to get these supports out to the businesses as soon as possible.
Great. And can you give us a bit of an overview, just so that anybody watching this, if they're in one of the Wild Rose communities, just sort of a high-level overview? It's villages, towns, counties within
The wild,
Nehill,
yeah,
Nehill, Wheatland, and East Rocky View County, right?
that's right. So we're anywhere from Chestermere to Strathmore, the Wheatland County area, so businesses in Carsland, Gleason, Rosebud, Lyelta. We expand over into Hussar, Standard, Rockyford, up into Bassano. And then we veer over to the north, up into that Rosebud region, and we head up into Nehill County. So that would be inclusive of Carbon, Three Hills, Trochu, Acme, Linden, and then we extend into the Rocky View area, into Bicyker, Irricana, that Catherine area. So that's that east side of Rocky View, the Balzac area. And then we veer back down into Chestermere. And the town of Strathmore is located right in the middle of that.
Perfect. All right. Anything else you want to bring up on the program outside of what you presented?
No, I think we've got everything. I should just mention, this program is open to nonprofits, for-profit businesses. It could be farms, ranches, the retail component, hoteliers. Nobody will be limited from this program. So it's all business. All businesses are needed in our region. They all provide employment. They all have products and services. So anybody needing those supports are, ultimately who we want to provide support to. And that goes the same with the Community Features Wild Rose Services as well.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll just check for questions, see one more time. All right.
Good.
Well, thanks again, Wendy. It's always a pleasure to have you do these conversations with us. You always are working on so many different things, and you're so well known for supporting businesses in the Wild Rose region. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing the mastering your recovery program, and looking forward to working with you through that program.
Excellent. Well, I thank you very much for having me.